Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. I'm one half of the duo here, Chad Bumgarner, and I have with me my man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
Hey, Pete, with that, let's go ahead and get into it, man. This is going to be a good one today.
Yes, sir. And as always, our podcast is brought to you by CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And everyone, if there's something you want to hear about, a specific topic, I can't talk already, a specific topic, or if you want to tell us how we're doing or what we can do to get better or to grab more viewers or listeners, please do not hesitate to contact us at ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. All right, Pete, we're going to get into it today. We got two topics today, but they're two big topics. That we feel like our people, our culture really need to, pay attention to, just to keep you abreast of what's going on and why it's so important to us as a whole. So the first topic we're gonna dive into is Joe Biden's commitment to placing an African American woman on the Supreme Court bench. Now that one of the others, I can't remember his name, but he's retiring.
Stephen Breyer.
Justice Stephen Breyer is retiring, and Biden ran on this commitment, if I'm not mistaken, and he's trying to hold true to it, which is great to hear and to see. And we're going to talk about how the right is throwing a hissy fit about, Joe Biden specifically, saying that he's going to choose a black woman, to be in that position. But it's so important to us as a whole for many reasons.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then the next thing we're going to touch on is the coach for Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores.
Yeah, the former coach.
Head coach, former head coach Brian Flores, as he's suing the Dolphins and two other NFL teams, along with the NFL, allegedly for racism in hiring practices. And so I'm eager to see how this is going to fall out, because the NFL has been doing a lot of quote unquote talk about ending racism and throwing a bunch of money at the situation, but really not, they're just throwing a Band-Aid on it. They're not really treating, the wound, so to speak.
Right.
And so hopefully with Brian Flores, and hopefully it's not just allegations, then I'm really hoping he has information to back it up, pretty much like Colin Kaepernick did when they settled out of court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So this is really going to put another black eye on the NFL, which I'm not sure if they're going to be able to recover from, but we'll get into that in a second. And as always, folks, listeners and viewers, we got the Black Inventor, we've got the Bible quote, we've got the book, and all that good stuff coming afterwards. So same program. All right, Pete, let's get into it. So we have, I think Joe Biden has like 4 or 5 African-American women on his short list, excuse me, that he's going to evaluate to see which one he wants to appoint for the Supreme Court position that is about to be filled. So why do you think, because I've read some of the comments with some of the people on the right, but the thing is with me, even if a black woman does get that seat, which I'm hoping one of them will, because I'm pretty sure every last one of them are very qualified.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It doesn't change the landscape of the Supreme Court. It's still majority right from when Trump was in office, and he packed the courts pretty much.
Yeah, it'll still be 6-3.
Exactly. So I don't understand what the tiff is with the right wingers, other than now they're hollering. They are hollering racism. Why does it have to be a black woman? Why can't it be a person of color? Why did you specifically say a black woman? I'm like, if we're in a game and I'm up by 45 points, let's say this is football. I mean, I'm blowing you out because, like you said, the Supreme Court is 6-3. So I'm looking at this like, okay, let's say it's 30-7 my way.
Right.
Why am I worried about you taking out one player, putting in another, or bringing in a ringer, or whatever the case is, and you got 2 to 3 minutes left in the game? You know what I'm saying? Why is there angst with the right because he specified a black woman? And then we're going to talk about why it's important for a black woman to be.
The reason why they're upset is because what you just said is it's a black woman. Now the right didn't have an issue with Amy Coney Barrett when the previous president said he was going to put a woman on the court to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Right. There was no issue with them as far as it being a woman. Mm-hmm. And actually they pushed her through extremely fast, extremely quick. So it's not an issue of her being a woman. It's the issue of this being a black woman. And what's really upsetting me is that now all of a sudden they're worried about qualifications on the right. If she's qualified and this, that, and the third, and all the racist talk and sound bites that we're hearing from the right. Kennedy from Louisiana had a quote the other day that I read that he said the next Supreme Court justice should be able to read the Constitution and not a J. Crew catalog. Mm. What does that even mean? Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, like, what are you really saying?
Oh, we know what he's saying, but again, it's the fact of this selection will be a black woman. That is the problem. That's the crux of their issue with it being a black woman. So, I mean, this is par for the course for their brand. So, but Chad, what I really want to know after this, after she's confirmed, after this sister is confirmed, I want to ask Tim Scott why he voted no. Mm. Because you know he's going to, right? Mm-hmm.
He's gonna hang himself.
And that's
as soon as he, yeah, go ahead.
That's gonna be my key question, because he's gonna ride with his party. So I want to hear what this black man has against a black woman being nominated for the Supreme Court.
That's a good question.
That's all. That's all it is. It's all about this being a black woman, and that's basically it. So I mean, in a nutshell.
Excuse me. Okay, but let's do this real quick too, Pete, because I want to make sure we inform, the people of Joe Biden's short list. So what I want to do real quick is just go down the five ladies and their backgrounds. The first one is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. She's 51, was one of Biden's first picks for the federal judiciary as president, and is considered to be the front runner for the Supreme Court. The president selected Jackson to replace Attorney General Merrick Garland on the influential U.S. Court of Appeals. She was confirmed by the Senate in June. 3 Republicans, Susan Collins of Maine, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, voted with all 50 Democrats to confirm Jackson when she went in for the Court of Appeals for District of Columbia Circuit. Okay, so let's be clear on that. She had buy-in from the other side, which is huge. Other politics. Our politics may differ, but my praise for Ketanji's intellect, for her character, for her integrity, it is unequivocal. She is an amazing person. Who said this? Paul Ryan, a Republican from Wisconsin, said that in 2012. She also worked as an assistant special counsel for the sentencing panel for 2 years, followed by 2 years as an assistant federal public defender. A graduate of Harvard Law School, she clerked for Breyer on Supreme Court from 1999 to 2000. The next person we have is Supreme Court Justice Leandra Krueger. She's 45. She comes from the state, the home state of Vice President Kamala Harris, and has been a member of its highest court since 2014. She was nominated to the California Supreme Court at 38 years old by the then governor, Jerry Brown. Before that, she worked at the Department of Justice in the Office of Legal Counsel as Deputy Assistant Attorney General, and in the Office of the Solicitor General as an assistant to the Solicitor General and acting Deputy Solicitor General. During her tenure in the Solicitor General's office under President Obama, Krueger argued 12 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court. She also received the Attorney General's Award for Exceptional Service between 2013 and 2014. She has a private practice and clerked for Justice John Paul Stevens at the Supreme Court from 03 to 04, and she graduated from Yale Law School. The third one is Judge J. Michelle Childs. Childs, 55, formerly nominated to the D.C. Court Circuit by Mr. Biden earlier this month, and has served as a judge on the U.S. District Court in South Carolina since 2010. Before her appointment to the federal bench, Child was a state court trial judge on the South Carolina Circuit Court and a commissioner of the state's Workers' Compensation Commission. She graduated from the University of South Carolina Law School. She is a favorite of the South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn. So we already know that's who he's going to push because he's from South Carolina. He knows her.
Actually, they put in Lindsey Graham also. Shocking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. What else? Clyburn hailed Childs in an interview with the Post and Courier last year, not only for her judicial experience, but also her different educational background. If selected by Mr. Biden and confirmed by the Senate, she would join the Supreme Court, whose current membership includes 8 graduates of Harvard or Yale law schools and 1 graduate of Notre Dame Law. The fourth young lady is Judge Candice Jackson Akuimi. I apologize, Judge, if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm trying my best. But she is 43. Was also in the first group of Biden's judicial nominees and was a partner at the Washington, D.C. firm Zuckerman Spader until her nomination to the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in 2021. She was confirmed in June to the 7th Circuit by a vote of 53 to 40, earning GOP support from Lindsey Graham's, Collins, and Murkowski, just like Jackson. Okay, so for a decade, from 2010 to 2020, Jackson Akuimi was a staff attorney in the Federal Defender Program for the Northern District of Illinois. Due to her tenure there, she represented more than 400, indigent clients and accused of federal crime. With her confirmation to the 7th Circuit, Jackson Akuimi became the first judge appointed to that court with a background as a federal public defender. Jackson Akuimi is a graduate of Yale Law School. Now, those are the 5 that's on his short list that he's going to pick from. Now, you tell me if these ladies are qualified or not qualified.
Again, we know their qualifications are top notch. They wouldn't be in these positions of this magnitude if they were not qualified.
Right.
So again, for those that are opposing a black woman being on a Supreme Court, it's only because it will be a black woman. That's the only reason. It's not about qualifications. It's not about anything else. It's about this being a black woman.
Bottom line, excuse me, but the importance of a black woman being on the Supreme Court. Let's touch on the importance. Right. All right. To me, and I was reading a great article by a sister in Politico the other night, and she hit the nail on the head. It's important to us as a culture for this black woman to be on the Supreme Court because of representation of America and what America looks like.
Right.
Okay. And then also when they go into deliberations about these huge topics like Roe versus Wade and, other topics that shape our society as far as rules and laws are concerned.
Right.
We've got somebody going into these deliberations that have generally the same life experiences that we as black folks have. You understand what I'm saying? So when they go in, for the most part of this America that's been in existence for roughly 200 some odd years, right? 111 or 115 people have served on the Supreme Court. Okay, only I should have wrote it down. I think only 4 or 5 have been women.
It's 94% white men.
since the
Yes,
since the inception of
exception of the Supreme Court.
the
Yeah,
Supreme Court, right?
yeah, 94% white men.
And
Yeah.
3 people of color.
Mm-hmm.
So this is huge because again, I can't stress this enough. For us as a people, we have somebody going into the back room with the rest of the Supreme Court with the mindset of, I have to be mindful of how we vote on these situations because when we sit at our dinner table, a lot of the people that are on the Supreme Court now and even before never looked like us. So they didn't take us into consideration when they went back to deliberate, at least not in a positive aspect. You know what I'm saying? So now we have somebody going back there with the life experiences and the mindset generally that we have as a people. So when you make these decisions or when you talk about certain situations that's going to affect the country, we've got somebody, hey, you've got to think again. You've got to look at this side. Right. Because for the longest, they've been looking at one side because they've all been older white male.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Older white male. So now we'll have a sister in there that'll be like, well, hold on. And I'm not saying she's going to go in there and be able to change the world. But my thing is she can give a different perspective in that back room to which they are so arrogant to not even think about. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Pete? And
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's about doggone time that a black woman receives this type of, first of all, attention, and then for the black woman to be represented in such a powerful light. This is a long time coming. So for this to be happening in as many of our pastors have said before in their sermons in such a time as this, it is extremely important for the representation of the black woman to be on the highest court of the land, because like you said, Chad, she's going to bring a perspective that none of the rest of the justices are going to have. Even though you have
somebody too arrogant to think about.
Exactly. Even though you have a black person on the Supreme Court, he's not looking at through the lens of how is it going to help the black man, woman, the black man, woman, and child. And I mean, it's just going to be a great day when whoever is nominated, whatever sister is nominated, it's going to be a great day for our people. That's just another stepping stone to show how great we are. You know what I'm saying? So again, and just to go back to why there's so much uproar as far as the other side politically. The reason why there's such an uproar, not only because she's going to be a black woman on the Supreme Court. It's also that those folk don't think we're smart.
Yeah. Well, Joe Rogan said on one of his podcasts that he got roasted for. That's something else we need to talk about, maybe on another topic. Yeah. That doggone Joe Rogan, he was talking about he was interviewing this one guy, because this is on the subject of you saying they think that we're not smart. Okay. So he was talking to a brother who was biracial. And he's like, dad is black, mom's white. He was like, okay. And this is Joe Rogan. Okay, you got the best of both worlds. You got the body of a black person and the mind of a white person. Now, that's not to say that black people don't have brains. They just think different. We know what different means is what I'm getting at, because just like you said, they think we're not smart.
Exactly. They don't think we're
so
smart.
He tried to dress it up and say they think different. No, we know what you're saying. We know what you're saying.
Yeah. So again, that's another aspect of this pushback and this backlash from the right, because again, you never thought about qualifications beforehand. Now all of a sudden, this black woman has to have these pristine qualifications for you in order for you to vote for her, to confirm her for the Supreme Court. Get out of here, man! Stop playing. We're not falling for that. So I mean, like it or lump it, there will be a black woman on the Supreme Court. here in the near future. So again, I applaud these black women for not only getting into the position that they're in now as U.S. district court judges and federal judges, and I mean those accomplishments alone stand on their own. But for one of these black women, strong black women, to become a Supreme Court justice for a lifetime is unbelievable, and I applaud each one of these sisters that's in the running.
Pete, I want to read an excerpt from the column I was talking about. I was trying to pull it up when I was talking to you because I thought it was really good. It's it's on politico.com. The person who wrote it, her name is Zinelle, Zinelle, Zinelle October. And this is just an excerpt of her column that she wrote. She said, as an American, as a lawyer, and a black woman, I'm thrilled President Biden has recommitted to nominating a black woman to the Supreme Court. The president has already made history with the racial, gender, and professional diversity of the judges he has nominated to lower federal courts. This Supreme Court nomination is an opportunity for him and Senate Democrats to continue their progress towards achieving a federal judiciary that reflects the American public. But this nomination also is an opportunity for the Republicans. This nomination will not change the court's political ideology. Like we said, it's 6-3. So, but still, at least not in the short term. Regardless of the nominee, Republicans will continue to benefit from a hyper-conservative court as a result of having packed the court during Trump's administration. The opportunity for Republicans lies in two areas. First, the GOP senators have a chance to prove that they mean what they say when they talked about diversifying the federal bench, because they did say that. So we gonna see if they gonna live up to that. Number two,
we already know the answer to that. But go ahead.
Number two, it provides them a chance to improve the chances that ordinary Americans will perceive upcoming Supreme Court decisions as legitimate. Now, during the previous administration, Republican senators worked with President Trump to confirm 234 people to the federal bench, 84% of whom were white and 76% of whom were men. This lack of diversity compounded an already undiverse federal judiciary. Our Supreme Court has never reflected the diversity of the public it serves. For most of our country's history, it has been uniformly white male. This is what I was trying to get the facts on, and my mind was just gone. There have been 115 Supreme Court justices. Only 5 have been women, right? And only 3 have been people of color. So this utter lack of diversity undermines the court's credibility as a democratic institution. The question before us is how many senators will help address this crisis. I'm done. The article goes on, but that 4 paragraphs right there was what I wanted to zone in on, because that's really the crux of what we're looking at. You know, we need a Supreme Court that really reflects the American people. And when you're voting on, I keep bringing up Roe versus Wade because that's going to be a huge one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Once they go after Roe v. Wade, it's going to be Brown versus the Board of Education. It's going that way, because if you look at what's going on now, them banning books and history and all this other stuff, they're going to try to tear down Brown versus Board of Education. If you don't know what Brown versus Board of Education is, our podcast is not long enough to speak about that. Just Google it and see how important it is. So, so again, I mean, they're going to go after all of these things. And I mean, you need to have some type of representation.
That is so true. Especially at the table, you need somebody to reflect your views, values, life experiences. We had one chance, and that got ruined with Clarence Thomas.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Leave it at that. Yeah.
So
just leave it at that.
any one of these African American sisters coming into the fold will be a breath of fresh air. And like I said, we know she can't come in and change the world, but just having that representation, that mouthpiece at a table that's so important when it comes to the United States and you know, the governing and regulating of our rules in society. It's good. It's going to be refreshing to know that we have someone up there that is speaking and communicating our life experiences, views, so on and so forth. To whereas you know, if the Supreme Court still moves forward and votes the way they vote, they can't say they didn't know.
Right.
They have that excuse now because there's no representation for us in there, even though they want to claim Clarence. We didn't claim Clarence. We didn't claim Clarence. So they've been using that for the longest. But when you have an African American sister up in there, you can't use that excuse anymore, because I'm pretty sure any one of these 5 is well qualified and will give you the experience or the background or the knowledge or the facts of our communities, and to really put that in perspective when y'all making the decisions that y'all make. So kudos to all 5 for just even being mentioned and acknowledged as on the list of running. My prayers go out to each and every one of them. I don't know who's going to get it, but I'm praying that for their protection. And I'm praying, sure. During the Senate hearings and everything, that they will persevere, because I know it's going to be brutal.
Oh yeah,
I know it's going to be brutal. I do. All right, folks. Well, we're going to go right into the next topic, which is really interesting to me. And with this dealing with sports, I'm so blessed to have a sports guru on the podcast. So he's going to give us a little deeper, in-depth, I guess, understanding of background on this situation. And if you don't know, we're talking about the former head coach for the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores. If you haven't heard, he's suing the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, and 2 other teams.
Denver and New York Giants.
Okay, Denver and New York Giants for allegedly racism tactics in their hiring. Now, Pete, the way I understand it is that Bill Belichick from the Patriots sent Flores a text, but this is all alleged, folks. So we'll let this play out as the weeks unfold.
That part's not alleged, because we saw the text messages.
Okay. So I believe the text said, "Congratulations on the job, on getting the job somewhere."
Yeah. Basically, this was the straw that broke the camel's back for Brian Flores. Again, remember, if you go back, Brian Flores was hired 3 years ago as the coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Correct.
And first season wasn't that good, but he led the back-to-back seasons winning records, 9-7 records, which in most cases doesn't get you fired.
With a subpar team. He didn't really have anybody. I mean, let's think about that.
Yeah, subpar team, subpar quarterback. Went back-to-back 9-7 campaigns. In most cases, coaches don't get fired for that.
Exactly.
So he ends up getting fired, and everybody's shocked and like, what's happening? What's going on? So let's go back a week or so from when we're talking now, when all of this stuff started to bubble up about the lawsuit and him suing the NFL. What's the straw that broke the camel back for him? He was already upset that he was fired. And then, with the Rooney Rule, these sham interviews, basically, that goes on with the black coaches that you have to,
show. Right.
Yeah, you have to, interview at least 2 black coaches or whatever. But most of the time, they already know who they're going to hire.
Right.
Excuse me. So Bill Belichick, in his, I guess, lack of knowledge of technology.
Is it really, or was it done on purpose?
I don't think it was done on purpose. That was a mistake. He texted Brian I think it's Daboll, who gets the New York Giants job.
That's who he was trying to text.
Exactly. He was trying to text Brian Daboll and congratulate him on getting the New York Giants head coaching position.
Right.
But instead, he hit the wrong Brian and sent it to Brian Flores.
He hit black Brian instead of white Brian.
There you go. And so this is a lesson to everyone. Either put the last name on the back of the first name or initial or something.
Or some kind of picture or something. Yeah.
Something. So he sends a congratulatory text to Brian Flores. And Brian Flores comes back and he's like, Coach, I don't interview until Thursday. So what are you talking about? Are you texting Brian Daboll or Brian Flores?
Mm.
And then Belichick comes back, was like, oh, my bad. I mean, you know, I was sending it to the other Brian. I apologize to Brian Flores. Again, Brian Flores was supposed to
yeah,
interview that Thursday.
That Thursday, yeah.
So
he's pissed.
Yeah. So at this point, this brother's mad.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
And for you and for that black man to file a lawsuit, now mind you, he's still in the running for 2 other jobs, Houston and New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
He filed this lawsuit. He's like, I don't even care no more. He's that mad. I don't even care. I don't, you know.
There was a former sports agent that I was listening to an interview, and he was saying, when he came forth with this lawsuit, he committed career suicide or something like that.
Yeah.
He's done.
He'll probably never coach in the NFL again. But like he said in his interviews, he was like, "This is bigger than me."
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He said, "I will risk my career."
Yeah.
For the future, these coaches that's coming up now.
And I was about to say that he fell on the sword for the black coaches coming up down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, this is a class action lawsuit. So in a class action lawsuit, you need people to come with you to prove, So, we had Hugh Jackson come out.
Okay.
And say, I'm getting a lawsuit, and then he kind of backpedaled. He's been backpedaling like the last 2-3 days. And so, and then you look at these younger black coaches. Do you actually think they're going to join a class action lawsuit?
And their career hadn't even started yet.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, he's Kaepernick right now.
Pretty much.
He's a man on an island by himself.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, he got the text. That I don't know how much weight that's going to carry.
It may not carry any weight, but it's just the simple fact that he sued the NFL for this.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself, this may not even go to trial, because you got to have some type of evidence for it to go, especially in a class action suit, for it to go further. To push the can down the road, you need evidence, and the evidence that he has is not really strong evidence, but just it's the mere simple fact that he has this text message, and other black coaches know. I mean, the NFL know what's up. Roger Goodell knows what's up. And what's even crazier and it's not funny, it's actually sad that when this first popped off, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
The NFL put out a statement talking about these the things that Brian Flores were not true statements, or yada yada. I can't remember the exact words they said in the statement, but to that fact that these statements that he's making are unwarranted and not valid. And then yesterday, Roger Goodell sends an email out to all 32 owners talking about we need to do a better job about diversity and being more inclusive. Okay, but 4 days ago, you said this brother's lawsuit was not even valid. You were going to fight it.
Right.
And then 5 days later, you're talking about, so there's a problem.
He knew from the jump.
And some of this stuff that this brother is going to bring out is going to be truthful, and it's going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you to the fact like the NFL is going to shut down anything. People don't care that much, to be honest. People don't care that much. But again, it's like you said earlier, it's another black eye on the NFL. So
and you think that the NFL will recover from this? Because after the Kaepernick thing, it was kind of shaky. A lot of people were like against the NFL. They weren't going to watch. They weren't going to support it because of that. And then
let me tell you this: that NFC Championship game that just came on last week, 50 million people watched it. Okay, there you go. 50 million people watched the NFC Championship.
So we got a bunch of people lying then.
Yeah, there you go. This right here is never going to stop the NFL on any level. So, it's a situation where I'm glad this brother brought this to light, which we already knew, but I hate that this is going to basically ruin his career.
Ruin his career, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't think he'll ever coach in the NFL again. But this brother, I mean, like you said, he fell on the sword for guys that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here reading this this article, and it was like Belichick seemingly corrected himself the following day. He says, "Sorry, I effed this up." The alleged text from Belichick reads, "I double checked and I misread the text. I think they are naming the ball. I'm sorry about that."
Yeah, you texted the wrong Brian. Look, if it was me, I would have never texted. I still ain't texting back. What you talking about? I'm not texting you back. My kids was playing on my phone. I don't know what happened.
My phone got hacked.
You what? After you mess up, like, can you imagine the feeling that when he texts back, coach, this is Brian Flores. Can you imagine the feeling of, oh my God, what have I done?
Hey,
I guarantee you, Bill Belichick immediately called the Giants. Hey. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
I'm telling you now. Let's get ahead of it. I'm telling you what happened now. Hey, look, he said at the Bill sent that text, "Sorry, I effed this up. I double checked and misread." Flores responded back, "Thanks, Bill."
Yep, that's all at that point.
That's all I need. Yeah.
Let's go and sue these guys. Let's go and sue them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sad that, first of all, he got fired for there's really no reason why he got. I mean, and because the team was improving. But then
right.
let's add to this, Chad. I mean, even in the lawsuit, he stated that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, offered him $100,000.
Oh yeah, to lose. That's right.
For every game that they lost, because he was trying to tank. He was trying to tank, and Brian Flores was like, "Nah, I'm not tanking." And so that's how Brian Flores says he thinks that's why he got fired, was because he wasn't going with.
He didn't cooperate.
Yeah, he didn't cooperate.
Because see, that's an easier way to let him go. Because if he's tanking and he ain't winning no games, then I gotta let you go.
And then on top of that, his record is not going to allow him to get another job. If I'm doing all this tanking and then you fire me after year 3 and I have a 3 and 42 record or whatever the case may be, I don't want
who's gonna hire you?
Exactly. And then who did Stephen Ross bring in to tank? A black head coach. He ain't bringing no white head coach to tank. I'm gonna bring this black head coach in. So
because like that, excuse me. See, when you do stuff like that, then the broader picture, like us avid watchers, subliminally will start to think, okay, well, black coaches ain't really cutting it in the NFL. They can't really coach. See, we don't understand the inner workings until Brian just revealed it. Now, people like yourself who are sports avids, y'all get the gist of the landscape. But like me, I'm looking at this like, I'm like, well, you can't get mad at that brother for why y'all keep, because my thing is when you look at a team, when you look at a coach and his record, to me, I look at the talent of the team. What is he working with?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You hired me, but if my team is not performing, if we're not having win the season, look what I have. Yeah. And then what you need to look at is your GM.
Right.
What kind of talent are you bringing me?
Right.
We're trying to win games. We're trying to get a ring. And this is the talent that you're bringing me? This ain't my fault as a coach. I got to coach with what I have. The GM is bringing the talent in.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the GM is supposed to be on the same page as me as far as the vision of the team and going to get the elements or the pieces that I need to win. So if I need a quarterback, if I need some DBs, if I need a running back, that's what you need to be out there getting me.
And that's what you would think in most cases.
Okay.
Most cases, it's the owner, GM, and coach are all in a line. But in the situation with Brian Flores, the coach, the owner wanted to do certain things. He wanted them to tank for a better draft position.
He wanted he wanted Flores out too.
Yeah. So you hire a black general manager and you hire a black coach to do your bidding as tanking. So after the fact, after you get the draft pick or draft slot that you want, I can turn around and fire that general manager.
And
I can
the
turn
coach.
around and fire that black coach, and I can bring me a white general manager in, and I can bring me in a white coach
who I really want.
who I really wanted to begin with.
And now you just messed up their careers because now the coach had, like you said earlier, the coach has a terrible coaching record, and the GM, I mean, he wasn't bringing in no talent, so nobody's going to bring either one of them anywhere.
Exactly. So again, and you make this black man look bad. You give him a bad record, and then you turn around and give a white GM and a white coach ample opportunity to improve your football team because you got the draft slot that you wanted. Again, let's look at this. Brian Flores, when they drafted Tua from Alabama,
right?
He didn't want Tua. He wanted Justin Herbert. But the owner, and I guess the GM wanted it. I guess the GM was like, I got to do what the owner say.
Right.
He wanted Tua. Stephen Ross wanted Tua. So you did all of this. You end up getting Tua. Tua is not good. Justin Herbert is killing it in with the Chargers.
Chargers, that's right.
Yeah, the LA Chargers. He is killing it with the Chargers. But you didn't listen to the black coach because, again, you wanted him to lose. You offered him $100,000 for every loss.
Wow.
Per game, per loss. And if that's true, if they have evidence of that, Stephen Ross has to go as an owner. He has to go.
Yeah, just like your boy in the NBA for the Clippers.
Donald Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't have nothing to do with race. This has to do with gambling.
No. I get it.
I got
the concept.
Yeah. But I was just putting that, forward, with Sterling. The difference between Sterling and Stephen Ross is in this gamble culture, where the NFL is, now they're hand in hand with gambling companies and all this other stuff. You can't have an owner out here talking about he's going to pay a coach $100,000 to lose games. You can't do that.
Yeah, because now you really messing with not only coaches' careers, you messing with players' careers. Because it's like, not gonna start you today. We're gonna say you got COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's funny how 3 days later, or like let's say for instance, you got a short week. Like some teams have to play on Sunday, then turn around and play Thursday. Right? I call that a short week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come Saturday, okay, your running back got COVID. Your main running back got COVID. He's leading the league in rushing. He got COVID on Friday. On Friday. Sunday, he's able to play. Oh, no. I take that back. Saturday, he gets COVID. He misses Sunday's game, but he can play Thursday. Aren't you supposed to incubate or isolate for 7 to 10 days?
Bruh. This, man, I see what you're saying. It's just, I hate it for Brian Flores that, that he's risking his career.
Yeah.
But I mean, this stuff had to be put to light. And then all of these little PR stunts the NFL is doing right now with Goodell and all this other stuff.
Trying to save face.
But again, Goodell can't do anything. He works for the owners.
Right.
What can he do?
Right.
And you can't change these white. It's 32 white owners.
It's the good old boys club.
Yeah, they're gonna hire dudes that look like them.
Well, I mean, think about it. Let's go inside the minds of the owners. It's their team. They can do what they want. That's their company.
Exactly.
And if I want to do this, I can do this because this is my company.
Exactly. And let's go back to what we were talking about discussing with the Supreme Court justices.
Okay.
They don't think we're smart to be head coaches. Back when, first of all, the NFL was integrated, we wasn't smart enough to play middle linebacker. Because the middle linebacker is the thinker on the team.
Is the quarterback on defense.
Yeah. So the black man can't be the middle linebacker.
Right.
And then the black man couldn't be quarterback. Because that's a cerebral, you got to be smart to play quarterback. And then the black man couldn't play center. On the offensive line because the center makes all the calls and you got to be smart to
catch all the reads.
To play center in the NFL. I mean, this is a trope that's been going on with black folk since we were integrated into the NFL or any sport. I mean, and now it's GMs and coaches. I mean, when the Rooney Rule, when they instituted the Rooney Rule in what was it, 2003, it was 3 black head coaches. It was 8. We got all the way up to 8 black head coaches in the 2000s at one time. Now there's 1. Mike Tomlin. And you know why Mike Tomlin's still a coach at the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because
that family that owns the team is solid to me.
No, that ain't it.
They have the lowest rate of bringing in new coaches. They usually get a coach. Go ahead.
I understand that, Chad. I understand.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. And this is the excellence that a black coach has to be at to keep his job. Mike Tomlin has been the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15 years. He has never had a losing season.
A losing season, right.
That's the type of excellence that a black coach has to keep his job. You have to go 15 straight years without a losing season to keep your job in the NFL. And then if you lose your job in the NFL as a black head coach, you're not going to get another chance.
You might get offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Maybe,
yeah.
Maybe. You're not
definitely a position coach.
Yeah, you're never going to get a head coaching job. The proof is in the pudding. What black head coach you know has gotten a second opportunity?
What's his name?
Oh,
he's the only one I know. Was coach down there at Tampa. And he left and Chucky took over. He coached
Indianapolis. He coached the Colts. Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy. He's the only one I know.
Oh, Tony Dungy, and let me say,
he's the only one I know.
What's my man's name? He coached at Chicago, then he coached at Tampa. Lovie Smith.
Okay, yeah.
Those are the only 2 that I know that has gotten a second chance. Oh, Jim Caldwell also 3.
What about Herman?
No, Herman.
He went to college, right?
Yeah, he went to college. And now he in trouble, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then you look at all the retreads of white coaches. Josh McDaniels just got a head coaching job. He got a job with the Colts and quit the day he got the job. You think a black coach could do that?
And still stay in the league?
And still stay in the league?
No.
He was hired as the coach, head coach. Decided that night, I don't really want to be the coach of the Colts. Quit, went back to New England as the offensive coordinator, and just got a job last week, another head coaching job last week with the Raiders. Do you think a black man could do that?
Nah. That's career suicide. You do that.
There you go.
You're not coming back to the league.
As these white
coaches, see, they look at you different, like the audacity. Oh, okay,
yeah.
You will never work in here again.
Exactly.
We gave you a chance, boy.
There you go. And then all these retread awful coaches with losing records or no NFL coaching experience.
Not only that, but look at all these subpar quarterbacks, and you got Collins still sitting on the sideline.
Yeah.
And over half these teams, he can come in right now, I guarantee you, and start.
But again, they don't think we're smart. That's their mindset. Again, with me living in North Carolina, a prime example with the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, when he hired their head coach, he said in a press conference, he reminds me of myself. When I look at him, he reminds me of me. There it was right there.
Yeah, there you go. You want somebody, well, owners, when they're hiring GMs and coaches, they want somebody that has the same mindset, the same outlook on life and football as they do.
And they look familiar.
And they
look like me. He said, David Tepper said it best. He looks like me. There it is, right there. And like I said, Roger Goodell, bless his heart. I mean, he's in a bad spot because he works for the owners. So I mean, you can't tell those owners who to hire. You can't tell them who to fire. So again, it has to be something within those owners, and I don't see that coming.
It's got to be something in the players, because look at how LeBron and some of those players during the pandemic, how they came together like, we're not playing. We're not doing this. We're not doing that until X, Y, and Z. It just seems like for some reason they have more gall, more guts to come together and tell the owners or the league, no, we're not. We're not. But the NFL, for some reason, they can't. The players can't seem to muster up enough collective. And see, we're more powerful collectively.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are. Football, basketball, community, whatever. We're more powerful collectively. And see, LeBron and them learned that from the athletes of old, the Muhammad Ali's and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They watched them.
Right.
This ain't nothing new
at all.
You see what I'm saying? The whole thing is to pay them enough, give them enough to shut up.
Yep. And then, and my thing is this, Chad, with the Super Bowl coming up next week, can you imagine if all the black players from both teams were like, nah, we're not playing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's my point, Pete. When you get the players that people come to see, when you can get all of them and communicate with them on one accord, look, this is what we're doing. This is why. Because it's bigger than us. Right.
We run this league.
We're the one that generate the money, not the owners. They don't generate the money. We generate the money. So we can control what happens. Sure, they can get mad and say X, Y, and Z, but most of the marquee players can ride off into the sunset now and be good. They got money. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, if we're gonna do it, we got to do it together. We got to do it together because that's the only way it's gonna impact them. Because the only thing that they understand
that dollar
is money and blood. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that they understand. When you start impacting that bottom line, they're gonna humble themselves real quick. Okay, let's sit down, let's talk. Hold on, because you taking their money. They got contracts with the networks for these games. They've got contracts with vendors. They've got contracts with companies that want to put on the commercials. You know what I'm saying? And y'all come out. The NFL got 32 teams. I say about 250 deep marquee players from the NFL. The ones that make the impact come together and get you a legal front and be like, look, until these demands are met, we're not moving. Now, you can go ahead like you did back in the 80s when they had that strike and you have all the subpar players playing, but that ain't gonna make you no money. You know that. That's not gonna make you no money. I mean, they gonna continue on and let the sub players play and be like, y'all not hurting us. But after a couple of weeks of that and people not coming to the games and people not watching, it don't take but 2 or 3 weeks.
That's it.
It don't take but 2 or 3 weeks, and that pocket start getting real thin. It's like claustrophobic, and then it's like, okay, we got to sit down with the players, representative, see what he or she got to say. We gotta squash this, but you gotta do it collectively. That's the only way change is gonna happen.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, people in that upper echelon, I'm not gonna say all, but a lot, kind of lose the ethics and the morality. They're more driven by the dollar instead of thinking about the people. You see what I'm saying? And that's where it gets clouded. But again, it's got to be a collective front.
Yep.
Got to be a collective front. Well, that was interesting. 2 really good topics today. 2 really, really good topics, man. Really good topics. But now we're going to move into the Black Inventor of the Week. And we're going to be talking about Valerie Thomas. If you don't know who she is, she's the inventor of the illusion transmitter. Did you ever think of what it might be like if your television could project the on-screen image directly into your living room as a 3-dimensional image? Maybe not, but if it happens, you'll have to have African-American inventor Valerie Thomas to thank for that. From 1964 to 1995, Thomas worked in a variety of capacities for NASA, where she developed real-time computer data systems, conducted large-scale experiments, and managed various operations, projects, and facilities. While managing a project for NASA's image processing systems, Thomas's team spearheaded the development of Landsat, the first satellite to send images from space.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, Hidden Figures. Come on. Come on, Hidden Figures. So in 1976, Thomas learned how concave mirrors can be set up to create the illusion of a three-dimensional object. She believed that this would be revolutionary if technology could be harnessed to transmit this illusion. With an eye for the future, Valerie Thomas began experimenting on an illusion transmitter in 1977. In 1980, she patented. In operation, concave mirrors are set up on both ends of the transmission. The net effect of this is an optical illusion of a 3D image that looks real on the receiving end. This brilliant innovation placed Thomas among the most prominent Black inventors of the 20th century. NASA even continues to use her technology and is exploring ways to use it in surgical tools and possibly television and video. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the inventor of the illusion transmitter, Miss Valerie Thomas.
We are great, boy. We are a great people, man. Good gracious.
The first images of space.
There you go.
That's who you have to thank for that.
There you go.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So that's our Black inventor. Pete, anything on that?
I just said it, man. We are great people, man. We great. I will say it every podcast. We are a great people, man. I'm tell you.
That is amazing, man. When I was looking that up the other day, I was like, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Miss Valerie Thomas. All right. We will now go into the book of the week, which I'm thrilled to talk about. And it is, and I'll put it up on the video after we, talk and everything, but it is Black Genesis. Okay? The prehistoric origins of ancient Egypt. This book, now usually we give you a book by a Black author. This book was written by two Caucasian authors. And the reason I bring this book to your attention is because they go through all the great lengths to prove to you in a anthropological, climatological, archaeological, geological, and genetic research way to support this hugely debated theory of the Black African origin in Egyptian civilization. So basically, it's 5 different ways they prove to you in this book that we were the first and we were advanced in our thinking and in our doing. Simply put, I'm just giving it to you like that.
Yep.
The book is well written, it's full of research, and it even though there's been overwhelming evidence to prove that the deeper you dig, the darker you get. We were the first people. We did a lot of this stuff that we're discovering today. We were advanced thousands of years ago.
Yep.
But a lot of people at large just refuse to believe it. They think, aliens or whatever came and, did whatever, but it was us.
Mm-hmm.
It was us. But now these two men, and the author's names is Robert Bauval, Bauval, and Thomas Brophy, Brophy. These two authors went through great lengths to explain and debunk and give you hardcore evidence. And I just named the different ways that they provided the evidence. Mm-hmm. Well-written book, very good book. Again, I admonish you all to check this out. Black Origins. Okay? The prehistoric origins of ancient Egypt. Please get you a copy. Educate yourself. That's it on the book.
All right.
Very good read. Excited about that. Pete, I'm about to go into the Bible verse, man. You got anything you want to say before we hit the Bible verse and head on out of here?
Oh, no, go ahead and hit the Bible verse. Go ahead and hit the Bible verse.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. The Bible verse today is coming from, let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. And it says, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. All right. And before we get out of here, folks, you know, I got to do it because it's very important to me. This famous quote, one of the many famous quotes from Brother Marcus Garvey. It says, never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. I want y'all to think about what he's saying. Man, think about this. Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent. Brother Marcus Garvey. Think about that, y'all. Just think about that. It's simple language, but it's deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Intelligence rules the world. Ignorance carries the burden. Educate yourself.
There you go.
Educate yourself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. Thank you for listening to another edition, I might add. One last thing, Pete. You good?
Oh, no. You know, as I always say, protect your people, love your people.
There we go. That's what I was waiting on.
Yeah, have it. Always protect your people, love your people, man. And you guys have a great week.
Indeed. With that, guys, everyone take care, be blessed, and we are out.
Peace.